have audio. We have. Please forgive. Working. Test, test. I think we got it. Audio on this scene. Test. Audio in this scene. I think we're good to go. All right. Well. All right. What's up, everybody? Really just wanted to kind of jump on and see how your day was. See what's going on. I got the chat open on my phone. Hopefully, I'll be able to respond to it as it comes in. But it's a big weekend in Greenville. Hope everybody had a good one. My day was great. I was working in the deli, getting trained up on deli type things. Tomorrow I'll be back in the bakery, which is my happy place. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see some of those delicious baked goodies and things coming through quite often because I'm really proud of that work. And yeah, I thought I would hop on and discuss a little bit of the hot buttons kind of found in the vendor community lately. It's been a heck of a year so far in 2025, and it's been fraught with quite a bit of controversy here in the Upstate. So it always kind of weighs heavy on my heart to see communities that are trying hard to do good and grow in good creative directions and expand, tear themselves apart, you know. I guess maybe it's one of those things where people attack the thing that they love the most. I don't know. I don't really know how to make sense of it. I'm a nurturer, and I'm one of those people who just seeks to enrich and help other people win and help other people grow, but seems to be the minority in today's kind of climate, I guess you could say. But I believe in what we're building here as a community, and I think that we can affect change in a very positive and constructive way by working together, right? And working together can mean a lot of different things, but most of all, I think you guys hear me say quite a bit is a rising tide raises all ships. So as independents and as creatives and as small business owners, I think it's up to us to really kind of seek out and eliminate this egocentric narcissism in our community. It's not very creative and it's not very artistic in nature. I really applaud all the people that have focused on the creativity and expanding kind of their boundaries when it comes to creative thought and unique ways to bring art into the marketplace, which is something that I think is so rare these days. Like we have so many carbon copies of things, you know. Um, Not this weekend, but the past weekend was New York Toy Fair, and for those of you guys that know that I come from that background, you know, I spent like nearly 30 years in the toy industry. I I sat back and I took it in and watched as the toy industry kind of like paraded the same old tired ponies that they've been showing to the world for the past 20 years at least, you know. Tons of new, well, not new, but new versions of old things. And even the avant garde companies are just really diving into the Rolodex of past things when it comes to licensed toys. Like, I saw Mask making a comeback, and I saw lots of B and C tier characters from spin-offs of Ninja Turtles or spin-offs of kind of like as seen on TV budget toy lines grabbing a lot of the attention and grabbing a lot of headlines. And I'm just like, man, you know, I admit I did like a little bit of a passive aggressive post on LinkedIn because I was just like, guys, where is the newness? You know, why isn't anybody talking about something new or exciting? And you know, it's disappointing. It's disappointing. And the last thing I want to see is that happen within this community as well. So again, I think I started off by saying I applaud those of you that are expanding boundaries and doing something really unique. You know, I've seen a little bit of it. I had a long day at the office, so I'm still kind of catching up on posts from today's market. Um, but I hope you all had a successful day, and yeah, I'm excited to see everybody again. It's a shame that things keep kind of getting, the can keeps getting kicked down the road, the proverbial road, but that's just the nature of it. You know, it's tough. But the reason for jumping on is a little bit of the fray that I've seen happening in the community, and I just wanted to kind of like talk about it. Maybe I just needed to talk it through myself. I don't know, but I prepared a little bit of some side by sides, and I wanted to kind of just put some things out there, some things that as you know, vendors, new vendors, I think that we should all take notice of, especially the red flags, right? It's no secret that us here at Afterlife, we've had a little bit of an embattled experience in the past few months, which is good. I feel like it's good in a lot of different ways, but I think overall it's good for us actually finding a groove and finding our lane here in the upstate, which hasn't been easy. You know, we started off very aggressive in 2024 with our schedule and our ambition and investing in lots of different things that net at the end of the day we've taken quite a few losses on. Um, Lots of W's with again the community and the people and the supporters and the collectors of our creative work, but I feel like, and this is no new thing with me, I tend to run against the grain of conformist, you know, large scale operations, and I suggest that you do the same. You know, it's just one of those things. The first thing that I want to talk about was, hang on one second, I have something else here that I need to maybe redact since it's so prevalent in headlines lately. So I have a little bit of a presentation here, and I just wanted to talk it through. So what you have here is a copy paste from an email that we received, which is kind of funny because we didn't expect to get any communication from this particular market after the way they decided to just abort us and not engage in person or anywhere. But the notion of this email is, market, let's just call him D, was usurped, I guess, in their date for their upcoming summer market, that to everybody involved appeared like an intentional a move, which all's fair in love and war, and I feel like this is a little bit of a declaration, but you have to take note of the way it was fielded and it was received, because the body of this email is very focused on blame and focused on defense, and in fact like zero focused on supporters and vendors. I mean, just literally like, sorry, see y'all some other time. Now, there could be like a lot more constructive ways to handle a challenge like this. I don't agree with tucking tail and running. It's never been a tenet of my character, and I hope that it's not a tenet of yours. And the fact that there's very little address to, again, the vendors specifically in this email, I would just red flag this and say, this is probably not somebody that you would deal with, or somebody who has your best interests in mind. Yeah, I'll just leave it with that. Now, this is, in my humble opinion, a really great and proactive and very punk rock way of just like sticking it in the face of the man. Like, this is somebody who said, you know what, I'm gonna put our market first, and we're gonna invest in growing our community of vendors right in the face of the big box kind of corporation market. And that is the way to go. Like, that is so classy and it's so punk rock. And look at the presentation, it's amazing. Hats off once again to Holly and team over at the Weirdo Market. Like, this is super cool. This is something that a market clearly cares about their community and is willing to put green on the table and say, you know what, we're just going to put our message out there, and we're going to put out a bird call to emerging vendors, returning vendors, and people who may not be exposed to our market. I mean, look at this table of offerings. This is not a selection of things for sale that's going to break even for the large amount of cost to get this this vending space. This is clearly a marketing endeavor. Now, the Weirdos and Holly and team have invested repeatedly in pounding the pavement, hanging flyers, taking out billboards, and now setting up camp right in the middle of the storm. That's amazing. Hats off to you guys. And this is a market that doesn't have a whole lot of upfront fees. They tend to be very flexible. We know a lot of vendors that have benefited from that generosity especially friends of ours that are very close to us that may or may not have the ability to put that outlay of cash up front and have been given unofficially the opportunity to pay on the back end or pay day of. So the weirdo market is one everybody should be looking at, everybody should be investing in and becoming a part of. It's small, but the spaces fill up quickly. But then again, Holly and her team always think outside of the box and are very amicable to idea. And the venue is tremendous as well. So we'll be back at the Weirdo Market over and over again. We're co-creating and producing something very special coming in April. So more on that at another time. I just don't really have all the details kind of raked together to present to you guys, but you know, you'll hear about that when the time is right. And thanks for coming out to the stream as well. So I have some other tabs here, and I just wanted to kind of like highlight some red flags that I've seen in my most recent exploration of what not to do when you're hosting a market. So you guys may have seen it kind of went viral on social media. This is my Doge inspired cost analysis, what we call a SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunities. And this came to me at a time when I was like really looking inward and saying, you know, what is the actual benefit of or what is actually the risk of participating in some of these big box markets, right? These touring markets and things. And boy, I was really surprised at the scale of which the finances involved here are kind of like are shocking, right? The long story short is, and it says it right here, they provide you nothing. This is found in some of the descriptive of what you're getting for your large layout of cash to be present at this particular market. And it just says it in plain right here at the bottom. You get nothing. I guess the event this past weekend or happening this weekend also had live music kind of like bolted onto it, but without any description of who those musicians are, how long they're playing for. All it basically says is it's loud, and if you don't like it, there's the door. Red flag number 2, okay? Now, in a market setting, it's usually extremely loud with just customers and commotion and things. Now, amplify that by music and live performances. I don't know if that's the best decision for a business atmosphere. Normally, we'd be vending outside, so we deal with noise all the time, but indoors, just the fact that there's a stage, maybe it could just be opened up to additional vendors, or maybe it could be opened up to, I don't know, so it's just a better use of it. And this is even a bigger red flag for me. So instead of actually providing anything for the money that you're investing to be a part of this particular market, there's no quotation on a set fee. So they reserve the right to flex these fees depending upon, I guess, how they feel that day, how much the venue costs, or whatever. Things like this should always be a red flag to you. You should always have a firm understanding of your investment what's the net return on that investment, and where the value is coming from. And then also up here we have some yellow on yellow hyperlink. It's just really, really poorly designed. This is one that I have very, very kind of stern feelings about. The fact that there's a cover charge to gain access to the market. And it says here it's not very punk. No, it's not very punk. And the fact that if you look at the cost analysis, vendors are being charged these varying fees, I guess you could say, depending upon location or whatever. And then the venue is charging the public a fee to come in and shop with you. Well, they're already taking money out of your customers' pockets on the way in before they see what you have to offer, or before they are given access to your art or your business or your snacks or anything. And then, of course, those of you that have attended this particular event would also realize that right next to the admission tables, they're selling merch focused on their brand and their event. That also takes money away from your customers, money that could be spent with you and businesses and your friends' businesses. So there are just so many red flags to be aware of. This is one that hit very close to us, and the reason why we parted ways with this particular market is that in all caps with asterisks and fancy things, it says all events are wheelchair and stroller friendly. We know this to be not true, right? So especially for outdoor vendors or this venue, which is dated at best, it's not handicap accessible. We had a lot of issues with this, the condition of the venue, the condition of the parking lot, the way that customers are treated if they do have mobility issues, the way that the venue is set up is just really restrictive to handicapped or mobility challenged. And you have to do your research. If you're looking at joining a new market or you're looking at going to a new venue, do a little bit of reconnaissance. Go there and check it out and be aware, because a lot of times you're presented with a map that has vague details at best, and you're asked to scale your investment based on something that you don't have actual hands-on experience with. So buyer beware. I'm just going to jump back to this because I just love looking at it. It's so good. Oh, excuse me. Well, in long and short, oh yeah, that's my lovely wife giving a shout out to the weirdos. In long and short, I think what we want to basically express here is that as a business owner, it's up to you to decide who you partner with. At the end of the day, you want to have a good feeling about what you've done, what you've accomplished, and I hate to say it, but your worth, right? If you walk away from a market and you say like, okay, this was my take, right? Less the costs of venue and time and travel and food. Oh, shout out to Island Sun. I saw they were posting from this particular event. Breaks my heart not to see you guys, but I hope we'll see you soon. Food, and you need to look at those very carefully. And I know a lot of you do. We've discussed it in person, but then I see a lot of people returning right back to the same situation. And I want you to know you deserve more than that. You deserve better than that. And these are people that are seeking to, not the weirdos, of course, that are seeking to put you in a place of opportunity but then grift all of this halo of their own brand growth and opportunity using you more or less as bait. Now, there's other sections in here that talks about social media, and if you want, you can participate in this and that, and they can't always do whatever. That's disappointing as well. You guys are investing time and energy, and you should take what you're worth from that. You should not be providing opportunity for people who give you nothing, right? It said right here in plain English. So when you finish this weekend, and when you sit back and you think about things to come, and you look at this cool kid mentality that if you don't get in, it's too bad, and we'll see you at the next one, and sorry, think twice about putting yourself in that situation again. Deal with people that reach out to you, right? Deal with people that check in on you and see if you're good, or invite you to things, and want to be true partners in business, not people that are putting your brand out but then jumping in line in front of you and making admission fees and selling their own merch. It's just not okay, guys. And I can't deal with people like that, and I want to make it known that we will never deal with people like that. You fool me once, that's all you get. And if you fool my wife, you better watch out, okay? Because she has even less grace and forgiveness. Oh, she has all the grace, but less forgiveness than I do. And someday you'll have to see her again, because we're not going anywhere. This is our home, and this is a community that we believe in and that we repeatedly invest in, and that we are looking across 2025 for tons of growth and opportunity. And we want to see, again, all ships rise. It's not about growing a community and then just raking all this money off the top of it. I mean, I can't imagine a market situation that is driving, this amount of profit based on our hard work, right? Based on our creativity. They don't deserve the credibility. They don't deserve the success. It's just there have been so many horror stories on top of the ones. I mean, it's a great bonding opportunity for all of us. I feel like we're all trauma bonded by venues and market organizers like this. But guys, enough is enough. So not punk rock. I refuse to call them punk rock. Something that is punk rock, however, is the punk rock yard sale. So a punk rock yard sale is something that we are cooking up to be an alternative to the alternative, to be something that feels good and relates back to the spirit of punk rock, something that we understand and live daily. My wife is making some points in the chat. If you're in the chat, check it out. Melissa is a better business person than I am. She is hyper focused on all things, and she has the greatest bullshit sniffer that I've ever seen. And you better watch out if she's sniffing your bullshit, because she's gonna shout it out loud. Well, I've prattled along a little bit. This was a great test for everybody who jumped in and sees this and sees the playback. I know it's getting late. It is after midnight, and tonight is daylight savings time, so don't mess up. Get to work on time tomorrow. Get to the flea market on time, because if they're late, they're going to let you know it's not 9:17, it's 9:14, and it's just such a slap in the face. So if you're not there on time, guess what? You're out. There's no refunds. There's no cancellation. Fees are non-transferable. Um, do business with people who treat you well. We love you guys. We want to hear from you. Reach out in the comments, hit us up on Insta when you see this, if you see this, and yeah, we can't wait for more. I'd love to hear, you guys that are actually vending out there this weekend in Greenville. If you see this and you have an experience, good or bad, although probably likely bad from what we're hearing, let us know. Let's discuss. This is a give and take. This is a conversation. This is a podcast for you. We're not going to be out here and be like, comment, and subscribe. We don't want anything from you guys for this content. We don't want any of that. If you do, reach out to us. You can email us. We respond to emails. You can comment. We're on Instagram. We're on X. We're on Facebook. And hopefully this is a channel that can continue to grow and provide value to this community as we do these self-analysis exercises. If there's a market that you're on the fence with and you want to look into, let me know. I can't take my thinking cap off. So, I'd be happy to do some research for you on your behalf. I could shout out, I don't have a graphic here, but a market that we recently partnered with is called the Witch's Broom Market. It's at the market at the mill out in Easley. It was recommended to us by a friend of ours, one of our earliest supporters. He's on Instagram, The Lens of Logan, or Arcane Enigma. Solid guy. He's really never let us down. He reaches out with ideas and potential markets and things. These are the type of people that you should be supporting and dealing with. So the Witch's Broom Market, they're amazing. They have great customer service. They have really tight emails and engagement, and they're attentive, and they're willing to negotiate. They have a vendor fee is X, and we agreed to bring Lydia out and do some promotion, and they worked with us on reciprocal value there. So that is the type of business partner you want to be aligned with, and we'll be with them on March 22nd. It's coming up very quickly. I'll have some promotional stuff on Instagram and Facebook very soon. And they are still looking for vendors, so if you feel like taking a trip out to Easley, there's a whole new customer base. They're very engaged. They're looking for stuff like this. They're looking for alternative artwork and treats and upcycling and creepy. And this one is a Twilight kind of after the grave theme, so it's right up our alley. Rumor has it that there's going to be some type of a Christian protest happening, so that it should be a lot of fun, guys. I mean, if you really want to think about it, it's one that I wouldn't miss, especially if you're vending in this community. I would go to it as an attendee because it's just so cool. The venue is gorgeous. It's really kind of nestled out there in a really special place out west, and there's a lot of history there. And support the people that support you. All right, well, that's my bestie and Carol. I hope you guys are liking the mustache. I'm loving it. And we'll see you in the next one. I'm going to try and keep these lives coming now that I've got some software and capability to do so. And open to suggestions. Again, just like you can ask Doge to look into corruption of any scale, I think that this is corruption on a scale that affects us all in our daily lives. So buyer beware. We'll see you on the next one. Upstate Vendor Community Podcast. We love you guys.